Chris? Stephen Cord.
Hello, Counselor. Just a few friendly questions, right?
Just a few friendly questions.
How many of them are there?
Oh, 9, 10.
When I was little, Dad built a pigeon coop in back of the place for Lee and me.
Really?
Sure. We had 12 birds altogether, all different colors.
Chris, I've been wanting to talk to you.
But not about pigeons.
No, not about pigeons. Unless that nomenclature can apply to a young woman who spent her life blaming herself for something she didn't do.
You're very nimble at jumping over candlesticks, Mr. Cord. I bet you're really something in front of a jury.
But we're not in front of a jury right now, Chris. We're all alone in the middle of the square. And I want to ask you a couple of questions.
No jury, but always a trial. Well, with the noble prosecutor's permission, the defense would like to move for a postponement. I've had a rough day.
What about all the rough days Ann Howard has had?
Look, Mr. Cord, you are the summa cum laude from Harvard Law. And I may not even get by the bar, but just offhand, I'd say that you don't have any right, legal or otherwise, to keep hounding me like this.
The legality of this situation isn't really what I'm concerned about. It's the morality.
I've told you everything I know.
Not quite. But someone else has.
Well, that's a rather cryptic remark. Would you mind amplifying it?
Someone told me that you said clearly and unequivocally that Ann Howard didn't push you over that bluff.
Well, that's very interesting. And just who was it that brought this little tale to you?
Does it matter?
It might.
How many people have you told?
Counselor. I haven't said I told anybody anything.
Well, that's right, you haven't. Well, maybe that's my fault for not asking. Did you tell anyone that Ann Howard didn't push?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling Allison Mackenzie?
All right, so Allison told you a story. Now, what does that prove?
Since it was Allison, I imagine it proves there was a story to tell. And Ann Howard would give anything to hear it from you.
Well, you're wasting your time. I don't remember anything.
You have a very convenient memory.
Look, Mr. Cord, Allison told you something. Allison is a sweet, compassionate human being. People like that sometimes let their emotions get in the way of things. Now, maybe she misinterpreted something I said.
She may have, or she did.
As far as what the defendant allegedly told Miss Mackenzie, learned counsel should know that is hearsay, and therefore inadmissible evidence.
Startled me.
Sorry?
I figured you'd be busy.
I'm not.
But I wanted to talk to you anyway.
I'm not busy.
I thought you'd be working inside.
No, I opened this door a half hour ago to get a wrench and found myself just sitting there thinking of nothing, doing nothing.
Maybe I can help you. Maybe I can give you something to think about.
What's on your mind?
My son.
Well?
My righteous son.
Another lecture.
My moral, ethical, proper son. So quick to condemn me and Julie Anderson.
Now hold it.
You couldn't understand it, could you? You couldn't bring yourself to understand how a man, a lonely man, could possibly do anything as evil as embracing a woman.
That was 100 years ago.
You opened the door to my office, and lo and behold, the young innocent gazed upon a terrible sight. His father and his father's secretary. What's the current phrase? It used to be necking.
You'll have to bring that up again.
You couldn't brush it off, could you? You couldn't see it for what it was. Two mature people who happened to be suffering from a progressive disease, loneliness.
My mother was still alive.
How's Betty?
What?
Your ex-wife. Your friendly ex-wife.
Who have you been talking to?
Tell me something, son. I'm not too old to learn. How do you change the rules of the game? How do you find me guilty of something or other and yourself innocent?
You're wrong, you know. You're dead wrong.
Am I? You and Betty are seeing each other, aren't you?
Lee Weber told you, didn't he?
Does it matter?
He's a liar.
You're involved with a married woman, Rod, but somehow it's all right.
Oh, you know, you're too much. You automatically assume I'm running around with Betty.
And you automatically assumed that I was betraying your mother.
It's different.
Yes, it is, isn't it? And that's the point.
Now, listen to me. You're right. I will always be attracted to Betty. That's the way it is. But I'm not involved with her. Not the way you think.
What other way is there? I know it's in these days to hate your parents. But tell me something. How long are you planning to hate me? Till you're 30? 40? What are we to each other, Rod?
Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Mother.
Well, aren't you going to invite me in?
Welcome to House Beautiful.
Are you all right?
Great.
Have you had any dinner?
No, nothing.
Well, then, just go out in the kitchen and
No,
make
Mother,
sure that-
don't. I don't want a thing.
Well, then, I'll just straighten up things a
Don't,
little.
please. I don't want it straightened up. I like it this way. This is my house. Now, you did give me this house as a wedding gift, remember?
Stephen, please don't be so hard on yourself or on Betty.
Betty, tell me something, Mother. Why did you give us this house when all along you intended to break up our marriage?
That's not true.
Why did you come here?
Please, Stephen, I just want to do something.
I like being a slob. That's my new image.
But you're always so neat.
Yeah, I was driven to be neat. I was driven to be the smartest in school, the best in everything. Well, now I don't want to be the best anymore. You know, you're being a mother. When did that start? When did you start loving your son? No, I've got an even better question for you. What if I hadn't made it? You know, I killed myself trying to succeed just to please you. What if I'd failed? What if I'd been little Stephen Cord, boy failure? Would you still love me?
You're upset, Stephen. You can't possibly mean the things you're saying.
Here's another question for you. What if Martin Peyton had married you? I know you've been patiently waiting all these years for that to happen. Well, what if he had? Then you wouldn't have needed that pathetic little substitute named Stephen at all, would you, Mother?
I don't know what to say.
Well, that's not like you, Mother.
You mean a great deal to me, Stephen.
Mother, I want you to do something for me right now. No sarcasm intended, no anger intended. I just want you to leave.
I'd hoped that we could talk. Just talk about nothing, anything. The weather, your work. Anything to take your mind off, Betty.
Please, Mother. Good night, Mother.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place. This is Betty. I got your letter. Stephen, what if I'm wrong?
What if you're right?
Either way, I put Chris in the middle. Right in the middle.
Now, what can I get you to drink?
I don't want anything to drink. I just came in here to hide.